Okay, so Joe, we talk to solopreneurs all the time, and I feel like it is very common for people to say, I got into solopreneurship for work-life balance. And it's funny because a lot of times solopreneurs don't have that. It is their dream. It is what they aim for. But as they're getting started, it's like they have this thing that they think is so attainable, and then they see it start to drift away because they start putting all of their time towards their business. So quickly today, I want to talk about things that we have found helpful for our work-life balance. And I feel like I always steal the mic first. So I want to hear some of your tips before I dive in with some of mine.
That's probably fair because I probably messed this up more than anybody ever. So, back in the day when I first became a solopreneur, there was this ethic that I had in my head. I don't know if it was a product of just the times or whether it's a product of just when you start that business yourself, but it's this thing where the more you work, the more you feel like you're good, that you're doing the right thing. And I can remember sitting there at 8:30 at night working, and thinking, "Oh, I'm being really good." And it's like you're not, especially if you've got responsibility to other people. And so I think it's a natural thing for people to feel like I really have to work really, really hard when I do something like, take charge of my own life and my own business and my own income. But it's really important to have that idea of work-life balance be one of your core aspects of running your business, because it won't happen by accident. It never does. So you need to set boundaries for what when are you going to work? When does the workday end? Which days are you off? Is Saturday and Sunday, are they sacrosanct, or do you work Saturdays because you want to take Tuesdays because something cool happens on Tuesdays where you live? When are you going to respond to emails? One of the best ways to waste time is to jump every time an email comes in, and they come in all day long. So, I have a policy of I don't answer emails all the time. I do it in the morning for a little while, in the afternoon for a little while, but I don't look at emails constantly because you never get any work done. Answering phone calls, same thing. If anybody still calls anybody, I don't know. But text messages, So, what do you do with customers that don't respect your boundaries? So you've set up these policies. This is when I work. This is when I respond to emails, and they don't respect the boundaries. You have to have a plan for how you're going to deal with those people. And I think it's important to plan in vacations, right? You have to have a time that you're saying, I'm done. I'm not working. I'm going away. And if your business doesn't allow for that, you need to start rethinking your business.
It's funny. My sister-in-law is a rock star CPA. I don't know how her brain works, but she's one of those really brilliant people where you're just like, oh, that's so cool that you have that intelligence. And she decided, because she's a solopreneur, she decided to send out an email to all of her clients right when tax season was starting, basically being like, in order to do the best job for you, I will not respond to emails after 5 p.m. I will not do this. And she was nervous about it at first because she was like really setting these boundaries during a really busy time of year for CPAs. And the response she got was all positive because they respected her for setting those boundaries. And the thing is, the more you take care of yourself, the better your business will be. Time and time again, I see whether it's successful solopreneurs or successful people in business, whether they're entrepreneurs or not, a lot of the successful ones are fit. And I know that's not always the case, but it's because they prioritize their mental health and they prioritize their physical health. And if you don't take time to make sure you are functioning properly, the business is going to suffer. And so I think if you really want to do well for your business, if you're like, I have to be working, consider that personal time, that me time, that family time, a part of your business in a sense, because it will make your business function so much better if you focus on you.
Have you ever heard of Parkinson's law?
No, I've heard of Parkinson's disease.
No, this is very different. No. So Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So what that means is if you give somebody a task and you say, I need this by tomorrow, you'll probably get it by tomorrow. If you say, I need this in a week, it'll probably take them a week to do it. And not just saying that they won't get around to it till it's due, but people will take longer to do things if they're given a longer time frame. So one of the things that tells me is that it's really good to kind of, set due dates for yourself and honor them, and to make those due dates, you're realistic, not crazy, but not too cushy, and that'll get the work done faster. And then you're not sitting there on Friday going, oh, darn, I didn't get everything I needed to get done. You lay that out, you say, oh, like your thing about unplugging your computer and having to get it done before the battery dies. Same idea. It's just, I got this deadline that says got to be done by 2:00, not because, the world's going to end, but because that's the time you've allotted to do it. And using those kinds of things and time blocking and the Pomodoro method that I know we've talked about before, maybe we can explain it again. But those kinds of things can really make you more efficient, which means that you get the work done that you need to get done. And, when Friday comes, you're ready to go and, take some time off.
I think another thing I hear people say a lot is that since they work from home, there's always distractions, and there's that blend between work and life. I am in my kitchen right now in terms of blending work, life, and everything. But I think you still need to set some sort of boundaries, whether it's if the door's shut, that means you're in a meeting and nobody can disturb you, or you make sure you only have your computer out. Like if people know your computer's out, that means they can't be interrupted. Like make sure you have whoever you're living with, you set these clear rules so that it doesn't blend. But also I remember when I was working in my last full-time job from an employee standpoint, and my brother and I are 13 years apart, and I would come visit my parents and he'd still be there and we'd be watching a movie, but I would always have my computer up or I'd always have my phone up. And I thought I was like being a part of his life. And he was like, you're here, but you're not here. So just be mindful about the technology you have up and when you have it up. And that will help to set those boundaries as well. Because it's kind of sad if you really think about it. We just have these devices in front of us all the time.
Yeah. Well, just on that idea, turning off notifications on these devices, those distractions are just horrible. It costs you so much time. My phone used to go off for all this junk, and I'd look, gee, the weather app's telling me there's a storm coming in Florida, and I don't live anywhere near Florida. Thanks, weather app. And I turned off all those notifications, and it was literally life-changing. And, I miss a few things now that I wish I didn't miss. Still worth it. Big time. Really worth it.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to say, and this is where I will end at least my portion of this, is if people are like, I can't have work-life balance because I have so much to do, I'm busy all the time. I guarantee you, if you look at your phone and where you've been spending your time that week on your phone, you will find areas that you could save time. Get off the social media, get off Reddit. Maybe that's considered social media. And you will see that you do waste time in certain places that can be better spent with your with quality time during your personal life. So I'm going to end my spiel there.
Well, I got a couple more things. If you're doing too much work, it might be that you really do have too much work, and you need to think about outsourcing and automating. And that's something that can really help you to reduce that workload and, have more work-life balance. And so really important to do that. I don't know if we can toss that little tool into the show notes, Carly.
Yeah,
the one that helps you decide what to outsource. And doing what matters. We do spend a lot of time doing work that is fun, but doesn't really move the needle. I'm guilty of it, and, but the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule is, there are like 20% of the things make 80% of the difference. And if you can try to find a way to focus on those things that are really going to make a difference for your business, it can really, really, really help. And one thing that, I have literally pondered the idea of writing a book someday called The Power of Procrastination. And the reason for that is a lot of times I'll have something I'm supposed to do, somebody's asked me to do, and I don't do it because it's not important, and I just delay it, and all of a sudden it goes away. And so sometimes if it's unimportant, doesn't really matter in any way, shape, or form, except maybe somebody wants it for some dumb reason. Hold off a while. It might just go away. And I know that's weird advice, but it's really worked for me. So, and then the last one is to allocate some time to work on your business, not in your business. And what I mean by that is probably, if you've heard me talk at all, you've probably heard me talk about quadrant 2 and the Eisenhower matrix. And the idea there is there are things that are important and things that aren't important. And those things are also either urgent or not urgent. So obviously the not important, not urgent things are those things I told you to delay and avoid doing. But the things that are important but not urgent, those are the things that, that can really help your business. So the idea, you've got this important, urgent thing. A lot of times that's firefighting. Something went wrong and you've got to fix it. And that costs you time. But if you take a look at that and say, hey, you know what? I can fix that if I do this over here. And you make set some time to make a change to your business that's not urgent and nobody's screaming for it, but it's going to make a difference in how the business runs in the future. That can be a really great investment of time to then reduce the amount of time that you have to use to run the business. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep. Very good points. I am still on board, but I will say the next time I miss a deadline of yours, I'm going to throw the procrastination idea
Oh, darn.
back at
Oh,
you.
no.
No, that's
Take it back. Take it back.
That's my new fallback. Well,
you didn't really need that.
No. But listeners, we really hope you found this helpful. Work-life balance can be attainable. You just have to put some effort towards it. And if you want, we would love to hear some of the tips that you have for work-life balance, how you got there. Just comment on our show notes on LifeStarr.com, and we would love to hear what you have to say. Otherwise, we will see you next time on The Aspiring Solopreneur. Do not forget to subscribe, 5 stars, all of the above. We so appreciate it, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.